So this lesson, I'm going to teach you a little bit about mean and median, and I'm going to be using the graphing calculator, the TI-84. Some vocabulary words: mean. Again, this is in the central tendencies section. Central tendencies also kind of implies kind of the middle. To find the mean, or in this sense, it's also called the average. The mean or average, what we do is we add all the values in the data set and then divide by the number of pieces in the data set. So if I give you the pieces in the data set are 4, 6, 7, 7, 4, 3, 3, 3, 5, 3, 3, 3, 4. If I want to find the mean, what I can do is add all these numbers together and then divide by 13. To this on the calculator, I'm going to get out of my statistics part, hit second quit, and I'm going to clear that off, make that go away. So if I want to, I can type this in all together. Using this calculator, I can make a fraction by using I think it's the alpha button. If I hit the alpha button and hit F1, what that creates is this N over D format. So top and bottom. So I'm going to choose that number 1. So notice how it gives me a top and a bottom. So what I can do is I can type in then this 4 plus 6 plus 7 plus, you get the idea. I'm going to pause the video for a second and type that in. So as I move forward, what I can do is, once I have all the data typed in, I can then now divide by 13. Oops, I didn't move down. So see if my delete button will take me out of here. Hit the back button or delete. Looks like that's correct now. So now if I move with the down arrow, that puts me down at the bottom. If I put that 13 in, if I hit enter, that's going to give me this 55/13. So that answer would be a fraction. So in my lab math, they may keep that as a fraction, but if they want you to change that to a decimal, what I can do is I can hit the math button, and number 1 says change to a fraction. Number 2 says change to a decimal. So if I choose number 2 there, it'll change it into a decimal for me of 4.23076.921. So in my lab math, they may ask you to round. If they ask you to round 2 decimal places past the decimal, that'd be like the 3. And since there's a 0 there, that would just stay as a 3. And I could say that's about 4.23. That would be the mean. And notice that most of the data is like 3s and 4s. So a low 4 does seem like the middle value. I see those most often than the other numbers. So 4.23 seems like a reasonable answer there. Now, let me come over here and see if I can write down my answer of like 4.23. Notice since I rounded it, we can use the approximation of 4.23 since I rounded to the hundredths place, or the 2 places past decimal. So remember, the 2's in the tenths place, the 3's in the hundredths. So if I round to the hundredths place, the 3 is where I'm stopping, and everything to the right of that has to be turned to zeros. And that first 0 tells me that all I got to do is keep the 3 the same. Remember, if it was 5 or more, I'd be rounding up. So that would be the mean. Now, the median says, if I want to find the median, arrange the data set from smallest to largest. And if there's an odd number of values, the median is the middle value. So I'm going to pause the video for a second here. So if I put these in order, notice that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 3s. So I have 6 3s. 1, 2, let me see here. 1, 2, 3 4s. I see 1 5, 1 6, and 2 7s. So I have that going on here. So there are 13 values here. So there is going to be a middle value. There is an odd number. Remember, odd numbers are like 1, 3, 5, 7. 13 would be an odd value. So it's going to be the middle number. The way I can work myself to the middle is just kind of work my way to the middle. So I can mark off the far left, mark off the far right, and just keep working my way in to the middle. and there should just be one number left. So the median would just be 4. So if I'm talking about the median would be 4. And notice that that is pretty close to 4.23, but they are different central tendencies. Mean is calculated one way, a median is calculated a different way. So you can't use the same formula for both. You have to use different ways. So let's look at another example. So I have another set where we want to find the mean and median. The mean is going to be calculated the same. The median, though, is going to be different because in this case, notice that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 7 values. 7 to 7. There's 14 values. So the mean is going to be different because when there is an even number of values, notice that we had 14. If there's an even number of values, again, what we're going to do is we're going to arrange the numbers from smallest to largest. So again, got a little slide over. Arrange the numbers from smallest to largest. So once I do that, then I want to circle the middle 2 values. So let's see if we can do that. So I'm going to pause the video and arrange the numbers from smallest to largest. So I have arranged the numbers from smallest to largest. So I've got 14 pieces of data from smallest to largest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Let me count that again there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I've only found 12. Oops, I lost that 46 there, didn't I? Did I lose another one? I had to pause the video. It looks like I didn't quite get them all there. Let me figure that out again. So I have found them all. So this here, I lost some, so I have to just throw that out. This is the hardest part about statistics for me, is trying to make sure I got all the data. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 pieces of data. So again, if I want to find the middle piece, what I can do is just start marking out, working my way to the middle. So this 35 goes away, this 47 goes away, this 39 goes away, this 47 goes away. So I can just keep marking them out there, work my way to the middle. And so what I have is just these 2 middle values. So once I have the 2 middle values, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be adding those together, 44 plus 44, and dividing by 2. That's going to be 88 divided by 2, which is just going to be 44. So if the 2 middle numbers are the same, the median isn't going to change either. It's still going to be that 44. So that's how I would find the median. The mean would be calculated the same way. You would have to add all these numbers together and divide by 14, and that would give you the mean, if you will. So I only worked out the median of this problem. Now, what I want to do, though, is I want to use the calculator to do this instead of trying to do this all by hand. Because like I said, it's hard to get everything on paper. So this is where we take advantage of some technology. So I'll clear this off here. So again, this is statistics. So this is where the stat button comes in play. So I click on it. And what I want to do is enter this data into the calculator. So I'm going to hit the edit button. So I'm going to choose number 1. And also I have data in there already. It's not the right data though. So what I do is I move up to L1, hit clear, and drop back down, and my data is empty now. So I'm going to pause a moment and I'm going to put all this data into the calculator. So I entered the data into the table. And if I want, again, let me see if I want to type over some stuff or if I can clear it. Notice how I can clear 12 there. What was the 12th piece of data though? I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Looked like I said 46. So I may have deleted the 44. No, there's 2 44s. There's a 46, a 39, and a 40. I don't know if I deleted anything yet. So I still got 14 pieces of data. So clear doesn't actually clear anything. So if I want, notice how I can move through the table with my arrows. If I want to enter a new number, like in the bottom one, if I put in a say a 65, hit enter, it'll type over it. If I go back up arrow, if I type in 40, I can do that. So notice there's a couple ways to navigate the table. use the arrows, or the enter button can also move you around a little bit too. So you can kind of experiment with different ways of getting in there. Alrighty. So anyway, I've got my data in. Now what's nice with putting the data in, as long as you recognize if you stay on this last row here, notice how the 40 was my last entry. Notice how it says L114. That means I've entered 14 pieces. And there were 14 pieces, so I know I didn't skip anything. That's an important thing to pay attention to, is this little 14 here. So now what I can do though is if I hit stat, instead of staying under edit, if I move over to calculate, what we're doing right now is what's called one variable statistics. So we keep it there at 1, so I can just click 1 or hit enter. I have my list. Notice this is the list number, L1, and that's where all of our data was in L1. So none of this stuff has to change, so we can just hit enter. This all just changes. Then none of that changes. I just come down, I just go down to calculate and hit enter, and it creates the statistics. So X bar actually represents the mean. So this first piece, this X bar, remember from chapter 1, that's a symbol for mean. So notice how I can write this as 43 point, if I round to 2 places past the decimal, that 2 would have to round up to a 3 because of that 8. So I can say it's 42.43 as the mean if I was rounding to 2 places. Notice how it's got several things here. So if I move down through here, notice how the median is also shown. So let me see. So if I'm just drop down 1 there, I can kind of see the median is the last piece of data. It's the 44. And notice that we did find the median, which is 44. That does check out. So I can actually use the statistics in the calculator, and I can actually find the mean and median. So the mean is actually the first piece on my calculator, the X bar, and I have to go down, and the median, or MED stands for the median, it's 44. So remember, under stat, edit is where you put the data in. If you slide over 1 to calculate, one variable statistics is what we're working on right now. Choose, since it's already on 1, you can just hit enter. It'll take you through this, and you can just keep hitting enter until it just goes to calculate. And the top one is your mean, the X bar, and the bottom one, I have to use my down arrow button. MED stands for the median. So you get those two things without having to do all that putting into the calculator or writing on paper. It's a nice little shortcut to save us some time.